Ah, you two. Let me know if you're ready and we'll head out. All right, follow me. Ladies and gentlemen, we now convene for the second trial against Mr. Albedo. I, Jean Gunhilder, will once again oversee the proceedings. Representatives on both sides remain unchanged, and Mr. Dahlia will continue to serve as assessor. Ms. Hertha represents the prosecution, and Mr. Kaya speaks on behalf of the defense. The defendant in this case is Mr. Albedo, captain of the investigation team. With that, I now bring this trial to order. Ms. Hertha, have the investigators made any new discoveries?
Yes. We sent the teeth and the femur bone found at the scene to the church's medical office, and were able to conclude that these are, in fact, human remains. In addition, the investigators were able to identify several Mondstadt citizens who appear to have been missing for quite some time. Forensic analysis of the remains allowed us to pinpoint the age and gender of the deceased. Interestingly, one of the missing individuals matches that profile to a T. The medical office couldn't spare the personnel, so Miss Rosaria is here to present the results to the court.
Hanselman, male, 46 years old. Marital status, single. Occupation, hunter. Consistent with the conclusion in the last trial, his disappearance went unreported, likely due to his lack of relatives. In addition, medical records show that he sustained a mechanism-related injury to his leg 3 years ago. The damage on the femur bone Mr. Diluc found is consistent with such an injury. Therefore, we can conclude that one of the victims in this case is Hanselman. A specialized technique was likely used to accelerate the rate of decomposition.
Is it reasonable to assume this technique to be alchemical in nature?
Alchemical or magical. Both are possible.
Thank you for your testimony.
The identity of one of the victims is now confirmed. But what about the defendant's motive?
Considering what he wrote in the letter, we can deduce that the defendant needed subjects for an alchemy experiment. Who better than individuals whose disappearance would go unnoticed? In other words, he sacrificed the good people of Mondstadt for his own gain. A truly vile act. In addition, another witness has agreed to testify. Miss Donna, if you would.
Not good.
Wait, Donna from the flower shop?
I'm sorry it took so long for me to come forward, but the night Master Diluc saw Mr. Albedo, I was there too. I was camping with a friend and we decided to stop near Dragonspine. I couldn't really get comfortable that night, so around dawn, I decided to go for a walk. And that's when I saw Master Diluc. I thought it might be nice to, chat. So I headed in his direction and then I saw it. Someone at the bottom of the cliff was getting rid of a body. I was terrified the person might see me. Even after I fled, I couldn't shake that fear. And I started to wish I never had a crush on Master Diluc in the first place. If I hadn't wanted to talk to him, I would never have been in that situation. Well, I didn't want to come forward because I was scared. but Miss Hertha convinced me it was the right thing to do. I'm sorry it took me so long.
I see.
Just stepping forward was brave enough, Miss Donna.
The court thanks you for your courage and commitment to justice.
Yes. Thank you.
The two witnesses corroborate the same sequence of events. That just leaves the question of how the defendant disposed of the bodies.
I believe the answer lies in the alchemical technique mentioned in the letter. The defendant is the most accomplished alchemist in Mondstadt. He has the skill, no question.
A special investigator also uncovered some relevant evidence on that subject. I will now present it to the court.
Wait, does she mean...
The following are pieces of evidence uncovered in Mr. Albedo's office, the most important of which is this map. This map was found with the defendant's notes. The markings correspond with the description in the letter and the locations of the crime scenes.
Does this map belong to you?
Yes.
Were you the one who marked these locations?
Yes.
You do realize that's basically an admission of guilt, don't you? The evidence against you is nearly insurmountable.
No.
Since you uncovered that compartment, I might as well expound on the matter.
We have witnesses and physical evidence. What could you possibly say in your defense?
What I always have. I never killed a single person.
Ugh, you have some nerve. Saying that when the evidence is stacked against you?
Miss Hertha, you've presented a meticulous and convincing case. I'll give you that. Miss Hertha, you've presented a meticulous and convincing case. I'll give you that. But I will not admit to something I didn't do.
So, what? You're just going to bombard the court with excuses?
That's a rather dismissive way to refer to an innocent man speaking in his own defense. Besides, I'm not making excuses. I'm exercising patience.
That won't make the charges against you disappear, Mr. Albedo.
Perhaps not, but patience comes with its own reward. It's easy for things to remain buried in snow, until someone comes along and brushes it away. Traveler, you were the one who uncovered this map, right? Then I'm assuming you visited the third location as well.
Can you tell us what you found?
Then, there must also have been a body.
The third marked location is in Dragonspine. We only knew about it because we found the map in the hidden compartment. During our investigation, Paimon and I discovered a hole beneath the snow, big enough to hide a human body. There were also claw marks around the outside. But there was no body or any remains whatsoever. The first marked location is near Mondstadt. Beatrice saw Albedo use alchemy to dig a hole and bury a body there. A single men's shoe and a torn piece of fabric were found in the bushes nearby. Taken together, this evidence seems to suggest that Albedo killed someone and concealed the body. The second marked location is between Dragonspine and Dawn Winery, where D-Luke saw Albedo bury the body of an adult male. D-Luke described nearly the same events as Beatrice. There's no reason for them to collude against Albedo, so their testimony should be trustworthy. D-Luke found teeth and a femur bone at the scene, and Donna confirmed his version of events because she was also there that night. The two should have no reason to set Albedo up. Despite her crush, Donna wouldn't lie about something like that just to get D-Luke's attention. Not to mention, Donna has been acting strange since before the trial. According to the forensic results, the teeth and femur bone belong to a Mondstadt citizen, and the witness account suggests that Albedo was the last person to come into contact with his body. Did Albedo really use alchemy to reduce the body to a few bones? And does that mean he's the killer? Albedo marked these 3 locations on the map found in the hidden compartment. There are some similarities and differences between them. Based on what we know, all 3 locations were likely used to hide bodies. The holes dug in each area certainly seem big enough. But unlike the first 2 locations, there were claw marks around the hole in the 3rd location, and no witnesses saw anything happen there. Dragonspine is home to all manner of monsters and wild animals. Could some kind of creature have dug up the body? But why wasn't that the case in the other locations? The marks didn't look fresh, which means the hole at the 3rd location has been there longer than the other 2. But if the hole at the 3rd location wasn't made around the same time, does that mean it's connected to a separate incident? Most people know Albedo as an alchemist and the captain of the investigation team. But in truth, he's the Kryta Prince, a synthetic human created by one of the 5 sinners, Gold Rhindaughter. Albedo is steadfast, intelligent, and treats everyone with kindness and respect. I think most people would agree with that assessment. He's also a calculated thinker. It's fair to say that if he did commit a crime, it would likely be well concealed. Up until now, Albedo has never displayed any ill will toward humanity, and he also still seems like his normal self. As his friend, I shouldn't reveal the truth about his identity. That would only make things worse for him. Dragonspine has a frigid climate and is covered in snow all year round. Even so, it's home to various monsters and creatures that can withstand the cold. Deep within the mountain lies the remains of an even more mysterious creature, Durin. Although the dragon has been dead for a long time, he still possesses a peculiar life energy. Now that I think about it, a lot of strange things have happened on Dragonspine. I almost forgot. Paimon and I once encountered someone on Dragonspine who looked exactly like Albedo, and we weren't the only ones. Wait a second. Someone who looks exactly like him. I'd like to address the court, if I may. I was the one who investigated the office, and I believe the results raise a few questions. Regarding the 2 cases addressed in the previous trial, it was established that after disposing of the bodies, the defendant used alchemy to restore the ground to its original state. But that wasn't the case at the 3rd location. The hole was still there, with dirt scattered around the perimeter. It looked more like something had been dug up. If this was all done by one person, why wasn't the 3rd scene given the same treatment as the others? Why weren't the traces removed? In addition, the markings around the 3rd location weren't fresh, which suggests that the Dragonspine incident happened at a different time. For those reasons, I believe there's still reasonable doubt in this case, and I hope the verdict reflects that. Thank you.
Astute as ever, Traveler.
Questions there may be, but allow me to point out, there is no evidence to suggest that anyone besides the defendant knew about the 3rd location, and the map was found in his notes. That fact alone makes him the most plausible suspect, unless Mr. Albedo suddenly plans to deny that the map belongs to him.
Allow me to respond to the Traveler's point. If all I cared about was proving my innocence, I would indeed do as you described, Miss Hertha, and deny any connection to that map. But that is not what I intend to do. The map does belong to me, and I did hide things at those 3 locations.
What?
There were indeed bodies at each location. And I did kill and bury someone on Dragonspine.
Ha! So you admit it. Let the record reflect that the defendant has confessed to his crimes.
You're mistaken, Miss Hertha. The story doesn't end there. Some time ago, I encountered an uninvited guest on Dragonspine. Someone who wanted to take advantage of the deserted nature of the region to eliminate me in secret. His desire to kill me led to an altercation where I killed him instead and buried the body on the mountain. The 3rd location marked on the map.
Actually, the traveler Amber, Bennett, and I were with Albedo that day. The Adventurers Guild was holding an event on Dragonspine. After it ended, we all left the area. If the person Albedo is referring to is different from the one we encountered on the mountain, then the altercation must have occurred after we left.
This only proves that the defendant is guilty on all counts. Those innocent people, their blood is on your hands.
No, you're wrong.
You deny it? After admitting to murder for the whole court to hear? You've clearly lost your mind.
If you would let me finish, Miss Hertha, I could get to the important part. The man who attacked me on Dragonspine was my height, with blonde hair and blue eyes, dressed in clothes nearly identical to mine.
So, someone who happens to look exactly like you?
Exactly like him?
It's one thing to look similar, but for the clothes to be the same?
What's going on? I don't want to be here anymore.
Regardless, the important thing is that you admit to killing someone on Dragonspine.
Yes, I killed someone that day. Someone who looked nearly identical to me. But I never said that someone was a person.
I see. Then, it appears I need to withdraw my testimony.
What?
Everyone! I brought her!
Wait, you...
The person who just came in, isn't that Hertha?
What's going on?
Who are you? Why do you wear my face? Hello to you, too.
As you can see, this is Hertha, the logistics captain of the Knights of Favonius.
I see what's going on here. It's all been leading up to this, hasn't it? Your confession. It was all an elaborate stunt to set me up. You want to undermine my credibility? Fine. It doesn't eliminate the mountain of evidence stacked against you. All I want is justice for the people of Mondstadt.
Order in the court!
I've been stationed on Dragonspine all these years, because that is where the subject of my research lies. The dragon Durin. Several hundred years ago, the dragon of the East, Dvalin, defeated Durin in battle, and with help from Barbados, sealed his remains on Dragonspine. Durin was created through alchemy, one of the finest specimens of artificial life. As such, death was not a true end for him. His heart still beats and grows more revitalized by the day. My imposter on Dragonspine was a failed specimen abandoned in Durin's stomach. An unsuccessful iteration of the Homunculus project.
Homunculus?
Are you trying to insinuate that I'm some kind of... the homunculus? Because it looks to me like the artificial one is standing right there. Some kind of imposter you dragged in from Dragonspine. So this is what I look like when I fly off the handle. You know, they say imitation is the best form of flattery, but your impersonation has overstayed its welcome. Master Jean, what are you waiting for? We've known each other for so long. You recognize the real me, don't you?
The two of you look identical, but judging based on demeanor, the new arrival actually seems more like the Hertha I know.
That means nothing! By that logic, I could just as easily accuse the Albedo in this room of being an imposter! How do we know he isn't the fake one? A cold-blooded killer who replaced the real Albedo long ago! Then, how about something only the real Hertha would know? The longest scar on my body. The knights who fought alongside me that day should remember where it is.
I remember. Let's hear your answer.
I'd like to hear Miles' answer first.
Huh?
You don't know? Or you don't remember? I heard you've been acting strange these days. Disoriented? Confused? You were closer to me than anyone during that battle. And yet you don't remember a thing. Strange indeed.
No, my head. It hurts.
The scar is right here.
Why the nerves? I can't imagine this comes as a surprise. Unless your informant in the Knights of Favonius failed to mention the scar on Hertha's left arm.
Albedo has done a lot of research into beings like you. If you deny it, then show us your arm.
No need to panic. You can just add it now. You excel at changing your appearance, don't you? Or, I should say, all spawn of Durin's life force have that ability. A powerful life force, an appearance you can change at will. Yet here you stand, formless one, paralyzed to act. Because you're worried using that power could affect your accomplices.
Accomplices? Then Miles must be one of them.
There are others too. Most of the beings under the influence of Durin's life force have gathered here. And yet, their presence is what impedes her from taking action. Once you attempt to transform, all who surround you will be affected by your power. You can't control it, because in this network of living beings, you serve as the core.
Show us your arm. Ugh! Have it your way!
Whoa!
Come on, let's go!
Hey! They're shielding the imposter!
She's trying to get away. Stop her! Don't let anyone stand in your way!
There are others trying to get in! Must be more people under her control!
Time to get moving, everyone.
Whoa! She just leaped across the room!
After her!
It's time.
All units move out. Third company, keep on the imposter's tail.
We finally have a chance to talk. But before I explain the events of the past few days, I'd like to make a few things clear. First, I never killed any of my fellow citizens, and I never used human remains as part of an alchemical experiment. Second, the events of the past few days were all part of a plan. Most of the members of our order were in on it. As for the witnesses, Master Diluc picked up on the situation long before today's proceedings. Indeed. Follow me.
What? How are there monsters in the city?
They are all monsters from Dragonspine. An attack is imminent, but fear not. We've been preparing for this. We've been monitoring the resurgence of Duran's life force. Its festering nature agitated these monsters. We knew it was only a matter of time before they advanced on Mondstadt. And so, we made preparations for an inevitable battle. I was hoping you two could join me and provide assistance in the battle to come.
Of course! Where's our first stop?
The top of the city wall.
Master Jean, headquarters should be secure for now. We responded in time and had enough manpower. We can even spare some for mobile support across the region.
Good. Our intel suggests that the monsters from Dragonspine could be disguised as Mondstadt citizens, so be sure to exercise caution.
Oh, and my divination revealed there are also regular people under the influence of some strange power. Not all of them are monsters.
Yes, so for those people, the aim is to subdue, not harm. Before you attack, make sure to figure out what you're dealing with.
Understood.
It's easy for things to remain buried in snow.